Have you ever felt like you're living a nightmare you just can't wake up from? Well, that's been my life since that night at the Crossroads. Let me take you back to where it all began. So the economy tanked, and just like that, I was out of a job. My girlfriend couldn't handle our sinking ship, so she jumped off. Next thing I know, I'm packing up for a cheaper life in a town on the outskirts of nowhere. It's a strange place. More shadows than people, you know? I've always had a thing for horror. The unknown or just all around disturbing things. Not that I truly believed any of those ghost stories, but they were a good escape. Especially when your life goes to shit the way mine did. And in this town, the legends felt as real as this glass of scotch in my hand. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So I landed a job at a bar cleaning the place. I made just enough for my rundown apartment, and if I was lucky, I'd get a little extra on the occasions I found sticky bills left on tables. When all you have to do is some mundane task like wiping down tables, your mind wanders, but so do your ears. Which is exactly what happened when I first heard about the legend of the Crossroads, where you can make a deal for whatever you want. But of course, there would be a heavy price. Of course. Sounded like a corny plot for one of those B-rated horror movies, right? This one was floated around the dingy bar at least once a week, mostly told by the old-timers to people just passing through town. I thought it was hilarious. In my head, I kept score. The old-timers versus the out-of-towners. The old-timers were winning by a landslide. They would go all in, spinning their story, never breaking eye contact, and inevitably slamming a fist on the table for their jump scare. Worked every time. If you had asked me, the only thing creepy about this town was the amount of homeless people. But with shitty opportunity that comes with small towns, why wouldn't there be? Fast forward to a month working in the only dive bar in town. I was doing my usual, highly skilled wiping down tables technique when I heard a voice I recognized. It was like my stomach dropped into my asshole. It was her. I thought I'd never have to hear that voice again. Because I'm a big boy, but mostly because the doorway to the back was on the other side of where I was, I had to face her direction. I tried to play it like I had no ears and couldn't see anything but that back doorway.
Hey, Frank.
For a second, I really thought about not stopping, but I did. Hey.
So, how have you been? What have you been up to?
How have I been? Why would she even ask me that? Why is she even here?
Frank, are you okay?
Am I okay? You left me, remember? Things got a little hard, and instead of helping, you left. Once I lost the money, a nice place you left. And you know what? I'm doing just fine.
That's not fair. There was more to it than that, and you know it. So don't stand there feeling sorry for yourself when you know we are both to blame. You shut me out, and when I tried to help you, pushed me away. You know what? I am not trying to fight with you. I saw you, and instead of ignoring you like you were going to do to me, I thought I'd see how you were.
Oh, I'm just fine. Living my best life, as a matter of fact.
Frank,
It was then when I saw another man walk up to her and ask if everything was all right. Then it all made sense to me. Of course she left. Things got hard and she found someone else to make it easy for her. I turned without saying a word and walked away as I heard her say my name. I went straight for the bartender and asked for a double. He told me not to be stupid, I'm still on shift for the next 15 minutes. What a fucking night. I see the devil herself, with another man. And now I can't even get a goddamn drink. I went to the back. As the minutes dragged by, I replayed the scene in my head. I must have looked like an idiot to anyone listening. And despite what you think, in bars, everyone listens. So I found myself walking home. Trouble was, when I got there, I didn't want to go inside. I didn't want to see my tiny apartment with the three-legged kitchen table and the spot on the ceiling I can't seem to get rid of. I didn't want to become even more depressed. So I passed it, just kept going, aimlessly, still a little booze-soaked from earlier at the bar. The only reason I looked up was that it became darker around me. When I looked back, I was just outside the reach of the town's lights. For some reason, that pissed me off. I just wanted my old life back. I threw the bottle I had in my hand. As I turned, I waited for it to smash on the road, but heard it clang off of something. Turning back, I realized I was at the infamous Crossroads. I couldn't help but smile. I mean, what more could I want? It was dark and could be creepy, I guess. But with all talk about this place, I expected more. It was literally two dusty, dirt-paved roads that crossed each other. In my mind, I built this place up. Where was the rolling fog? The whispers? My 3 wishes? I laughed. Those old-timers really know how to spin a story. Turning back towards town, I bumped into it. Now, bumping into something that you knew was not there a second ago scares the ever-loving shit out of you. So naturally, I freaked out. But mostly on the inside, what I did do was jump back and say, "What the fuck?"
Hey there, Frank.
That threw me off. It was jarring hearing my name from someone I never met. So I waited a beat to answer back. Now I know I don't know you, so why do you know my name?
I don't know you, not really. For instance, I know you keep to yourself. I know you loathe this town, and I know you wish you could be anywhere but here.
He said these things while walking past me. I didn't want him to my back, so I followed him with my gaze. Turning as he turned, his voice was like a mix of gravel and something else. He wasn't a particularly big man or all that imposing. And yet, his voice made my skin crawl, and or maybe it was the way his face stayed in shadow. It was like I couldn't find the features. Like if you focused on one spot, you got nothing, but out of the corner of your eye, you can make out a jawline, an ear, or maybe I just needed to sleep this off. I wasn't going to stand here playing 20 questions with him. I told him, "Look, this was a good one, you got me. I'm sure you've seen me at the bar, learned my name, and me being new to this dump. It was just a good guess that I want to get out of here. So thanks for being the best entertainment of the night, and tell the old-timers they finally got me." When I faced back towards town, he was there. Like an idiot, I looked back over my shoulder. There is no way. He should have been there, but this time when I looked back at him, I felt a flicker of fear. For an instant, I thought I saw a light glint in his eyes. Shaking these thoughts away, I asked, "Why are you here?" I tried not to show the uncertainty in my voice and hated myself for doing just that.
Frank, I'm a businessman, just like you were. And I've been in my business for a long time. My particular talent is decluttering one's life to make way for new opportunities.
So you're just a businessman walking around looking to offer great opportunities just because? And you expect me to take the word of magician on a dirt road at night? Thanks, but no thanks. I don't know how you move that fast, but I gotta get going.
That's it, Frank. Go back to your tiny life, in your tiny apartment, with your 3-legged table. And that spot on the ceiling you can't seem to get clean.
It was then I stopped walking. The goosebumps that went up my back and down my arms made me do that involuntary shoulder shrug thing, and tried my best not to squirm. I looked back at him, really looked this time. He was still in shadow, but for the first time, I realized it was not just his face. It was all of him. I stared at him, as much as you can stare at a shadow. He was facing me, facing towards the town lights. I should have been able to see more of him than I actually was. He slowly started walking off to the side. I tracked his movements as he made his way, walking around me. Now that I was paying attention, I could see the shadows mold to him as he walked. Not entirely covering him, but just enough to obscure what you were seeing. This is when the first thread of fear sparked. Not a lot, but it was there. I could feel it, tugging at me. I asked it, "What do you want?"
Oh, Frank, I meant what I said. I'm a businessman. I deal in transactions. What if I told you I could offer you all you lost and more? All for just your memories. Things of the past that are of no consequence. Say, Angela, for instance. What if you woke up one morning not having to relive what you lost? Or perhaps the moment you were thrown away, like trash from the company you gave your all to. Or you can turn back right now Go back to your life, the one you hate, the one you have to drag yourself through, the one you know sooner or later will eat you alive.
What are you?
You can call me Shadow. Think of me as a memory broker. You see, what you have, Frank, is something very valuable. There are others out there who are in need of such organic essence. I am but an avenue, a crossroads, if you will, to facilitate such commodities. Now, I won't bore you with the details, but my business is very lucrative. You, Frank, are in possession of something that no longer serves you, and I am just the shadow that can take what you no longer need and get it into the hands of those in need.
What's the catch? And don't tell me there isn't one. Why me? If this is so great, why are you not working your business somewhere other than this shithole?
Careful, Frank. We are both gentlemen here. My business, however, is my business. Nonetheless, there is a catch. You can only get what you give. If you want something small, I will take something small. Let's say, for instance, a four-legged table for that time your second-grade crush kicked you in the leg. No? How about a new apartment for the time you went to Camp Fun for an entire week, but we both know it was no fun at all? Why keep these memories with you when you have the power to be so much more? Why? There are so many trapped in that mind of yours. You wouldn't even know some were gone. And why would you? How do those memories serve you now? What good do they do for you, keeping them trapped in there?
If you know all this already, why don't you just take them?
Alas, that is the crux of the matter. Although these transactions are my forte, I am bound by certain rules. For without rules, there will be utter chaos. I need your consent, Frank. I need you to agree to this bargain. Think of it as a binding contract, so to speak.
What about negotiating?
Frank, negotiating is my love language. Although ultimately, it would be to my discretion, of course. Mind you, I have been in this business a very long time, and it is to my benefit to keep my clients happy.
So, the catch is you can take any memory once I say okay? Why would I trust that you wouldn't just wipe my memory completely? I couldn't even believe I was having this conversation. Was I really negotiating with a shadow? I was desperate to get out of this town, go back to my old life, a better life. Then a thought came to me. If he already knew my memories, can he read my mind? Something must have shown on my face because he went on to say,
No, Frank, I can't read your mind. As I said, I have been doing this a long time, this conversation. Your reactions are not new to me. Your memories, these are not just fleeting thoughts. These are tied to experiences you had. Experiences breathe energy if you know what you are doing. And I do. This energy can be harnessed. Besides, you are in luck. There is a clause in this contract that you at any time can stop our arrangement. Consider it as your cancel at any time perk. What do you say, Frank? You, of all people, really have nothing left to lose.
Even before he started talking, I already knew what my decision would be. He, whatever he was right. I am beyond rock bottom, sick of living like a nobody. I need to get my life back. There was only one thing left for me to do. I looked up and said, "You got a deal." At first, I didn't notice anything. I was thinking I must have been out of my mind, or the bartender that night gave my ass a triple when I asked for a drink. But odd things started to turn up in my favor. like wanting a new keyboard because mine just broke, and it would be at my door. Then I flooded with panic because I was waiting to feel something, to feel a part of me vanish. Nothing felt different. Then it was little things I'd forget, like passwords and where I put my keys. But every bit of my past I forgot seemed to boost my luck. The marketing side hustle I'd been trying to get into for months started getting crazy hits, and money was rolling in. I moved, back to the city where I belonged. I was with the elite again. I had a better place, better car, and better people around me. One night I was walking to my car and I heard my name.
Hi, Frank.
I looked back to see a couple. I couldn't place them. I was thinking I must have met them at a marketing event, so I held out my hand to shake theirs. She just looked at me. The man, he ended up shaking my hand. It was a little awkward because they didn't say anything. So I said, "How may I help you?"
Frank, I didn't get a chance to introduce you to my brother the last time we spoke. I know it wasn't on the best of terms, but I saw you and wanted you to know that I wish the best for you, and that I hope you know. If you needed anyone to talk to, I'm here for you.
I'm sorry, have we met before? I don't remember. Actually what I mean is that I'm not very good with faces. At that moment, her eyes started to water. I immediately thought of Shadow. I hadn't thought about him in months. I know this woman. I can't remember her, but it is obvious she knows me. She made her eyes go a little wider so her tears wouldn't fall. I was at a loss.
Just so you know, Frank, I cried myself to sleep for weeks after we ended things. I didn't leave you, you checked out. You'd leave me alone in the apartment for days, not knowing where you were and not telling me where or when you'd be back. I tried being supportive after your precious job canned you. I said we can work it out. I said you can do other things. What I didn't mean was for you to go find someone to do other things with. I saw you. You thought I didn't know. That's why I moved out. I couldn't be there watching you self-destruct and refusing to let me help you. Goodbye, Frank.
Things got worse. I'd see someone or get a call and not recognize them. I'd have to make up stories about my past. Then I'd forget what I made up. Colleagues and clients started treating me like a liability. Although my memories were fading, the one that never faded was Shadow. Realizing the horror of what I'd done, I rushed back to the Crossroads to confront Shadow. He said there was a way to stop this, and I wanted out. I was driving so fast I nearly hit the sign at the Crossroads. I didn't even know if this would work, but I got out anyway. It was in the middle of the day, but I'd wait all night if I had to. I was pacing, thinking of the people around me who turned to strangers, the experiences I know I must have went through but can't remember.
Frank, back so soon. You've been a busy man. How is it at the top these days?
I'm done, I want out.
Remember, Frank, you can end our little transaction at any time. All you have to do is not want. That's it, no catch. Just stop wanting, and I'll stop taking. It is really very simple.
Just stop? So I just stop wanting more things and it just stops. That's it? And I'll get my life back?
Well, Frank, yes and no. You see, you have already cashed out some of your chips, so to speak. Your memories for the things you received are already bought and paid for. No returns on those. If you stop wanting, you close the gateway. I will no longer have access to take your meaningless memories. But the moment you do, the instant you wish you could have more, could be more, get more, well, I will take what I choose. The simplicity is awe-inspiring. Don't you think? Just between you and I, can I tell you a little secret? Your memories are particularly delicious. Your level of self-loathing and self-destruction are of things I haven't tasted in eons. You are very nostalgic for me.
You're feeding off of me? What are you?
We don't have secrets between us, Frank. I am what I told you. I'm a memory broker. I buy and trade assets. In this case, you. Memories harness energy. Energy we can feed on. As I said before, it is to my benefit to keep my clients happy. And Frank, my clients who have been feeding off of you are very happy. Almost makes me wish you still had living relatives. Now don't look at me like that, Frank. It's unbecoming. I answered all the questions you asked me and gave you all of the rules. Blaming me for your predicament won't change the fact that you put yourself at the crossroads, just like all of the other humans wandering around here, and one day, our feast on you will end, as it did with the many before you, and the many that will come after you. But don't worry, Frank. You won't remember a thing.
It was then I looked back at the town. I flashed back to moving here. The homeless-looking people. So many. I just thought they were just part of what happens in a small town. And in a way, I'm right. They are what happens in this small town. Their lives eaten up by their own greed, just like mine. I have since stayed in this town, so I won't be tempted by anything outside of here. I fucked up a few times, wishing for or missing something I no longer had and wanting it. Each time I received something, but in return, I lost a part of my memory. Oddly, the only place where my memories, or what's left of them, don't seem to fade, is the bar. Sometimes I get these flashes, like memories trying to fight their way back, laughing with people I feel I should remember, or walking with a woman whose face always blurs when I try to focus. Although I don't remember her face, I remember her voice. I remember her. I just can't seem to see her in my mind. It's like living in a dream, or maybe a nightmare. This is the only place I can think clearly. One time I thought I'd go hunt Shadow and make him give me back my memories. I was lost outside for I don't know how long until I stumbled back into this damn bar. Now I carry maps I made out of napkins in my pockets. I had this hazy recollection. The owner of the bar. I never actually saw him, matter of fact. I only ever remember having a towel in my hand wiping tables, but I knew he was there. And the bar always had people passing through. Way more people than cars in the parking lot. Where did they come from? Bars are dark with all kinds of shadows. Are they all human? I also realized the old-timers. They are not able to leave. They are more foregone than I am, which is why I had always thought they were just raving drunks telling stories. I am terrified of that day. I constantly write things down. I have napkins with maps and memories in case I get lost in town again, showing how to get back to the bar. Did I mention that already? Our lives are being eaten away. Our memories. Some are just gone. I think Shadow was strategic. I don't remember any previous address. Emails, phone number. It's like those have been deleted even in the bar. I can't contact anyone, even if I did. Would I even remember them? I know the old-timers had tried to warn me, but I was too busy feeling sorry for myself. So let me warn you. Go now. Pay for your tab and go. Keep going. Just pass on through, but whatever you do, don't ever go to the Crossroads. And never make a deal in the dark.
Thanks for listening. I hope I was able to create an escape from your daily grind. Follow my channel if you want to take a break from reality with immersive storytelling. Well, until we meet next time.